Hi guys, and welcome for this exercise where I try to put together bits of complex grammar to make your brains really work on word order and stuff like that. And a little warning before you start, there are bits of A-level content even in the GCSE sentences, so don't beat yourselves up if you're struggling. That's normal, and sometimes there's more than one way to do it. So take your time, pause the video, and I'll mark in a few seconds. Okay, let's go. So, let me just get rid of that page here so I can work out the correction with you. So, number one, they have a lot of work and must concentrate. It's a present tense all the way through, but you have a modal verb here, the verb devoir, which is completely irregular in any tense you pick. So we just need to be careful about that. So, number one, they have, that's the verb to have in the present tense, it's irregular. I hope you know it. So, they, ils, have, ont. To say a lot of work, to say a lot of anything, it's always beaucoup de. And most students usually forget the part for de. So don't, please. Ils ont beaucoup de travail. Please be careful on travail. If you put a double L and an E or a double L-E-R, you're using the verb to work. Here, a lot of work, that's a noun, so ils ont beaucoup de travail, like that. And must concentrate. In French, like in English, we don't need to repeat the pronoun, we can just carry on. So, and, like that. Must, so that's the verb devoir, and I want it in the they form, which is not something you see very often. It's doivent. There you go. So they must concentrate. After a modal verb, you always have an infinitive. So you keep your infinitive like it is here. You need to pay attention to the reflexive pronoun here. But because we use they, that won't change. If it were I must concentrate, it would be je dois me concentrer. But here, you're good. Keep the SE. So, ils ont beaucoup de travail et doivent se concentrer. That's the right translation. Number two, she bought cakes and ate them before arriving home. There's a few complexities here, but until here, you're only using the perfect tense. There's a little tweak here. You can use two different things, but I'm going to explain that after. So number two, she bought cakes. She bought, that's the verb acheter. So elle, she has, literally, in French, she has bought. Elle a acheté. Careful, you cannot say cakes just like that in French. You have to say some cakes. So, des gâteaux. And, et, ate them. You need to work that together. You can't really separate it. Well, I'll try to break it down, but if it's not automatic, I'll just try to break it down. So, she ate, or she has eaten, literally. So, has, with L, it's the same again. Eaten, it's manger. Take off your ER, put an E accent. And them, that's where the trick is, because them replaces cake, so it's a direct object pronoun which needs to come before the auxiliary. So, elle a acheté des gâteaux et les a mangés. And, double twist here, if your direct object pronoun is before the auxiliary to have, that's the most annoying French rule for me, you need to agree your past participle with this, which refers to that. This is masculine plural, so here I don't need an E, but I need an S for the plural. Elle a acheté des gâteaux et les a mangés. Before arriving home, you could use a subjunctive saying avant qu'elle arrive à la maison, but I want to try and keep this a bit more simple here. Before plus ing, it's that structure which is fairly easy to use. Avant de, and then put your infinitive. So my infinitive being arriver here, I need to get rid of that E. I'm breaking it down. Don't try to avoid scribbles on your essays, but here I wanted to break it down. So avant d'arriver, and then home, I won't have the space, à la maison, like that. So, elle a acheté des gâteaux et les a mangés avant d'arriver à la maison, or avant qu'elle arrive à la maison. But that actually sounds better here in this case, so you can keep it simple. Next one, I am going to get better soon. To get better, all of that, it's the verb se rétablir, reflexive verb, careful here. So, and that's a near future, so number 3. I am going, je vais. Then it's a reflexive verb, so all of your infinitive will come after that, but you need to be careful about the reflexive pronoun here. So it needs to work with je, so it's me, je vais me. Put down your infinitive, rétablir, soon, bientôt. Like that. Number 4, we will pass obstacles, all the obstacles. So pass, that's kind of the only context where you can use that verb here. So we will pass, that's a simple future with an IR verb. We, damn it, I didn't tell you which pronoun to use. I'll have to do both, double work for me. So let's go. Put your infinitive down for the simple future. Franchir. And put the appropriate ending for the simple future depending what pronoun you picked. So nous franchirons, ONS, or on franchira, A. And then you can just carry on, either way it's the same after that. All, tout. But careful, what comes after is plural, so here, don't put a T, it's an S. Tous les obstacles, it's the same word, even if the pronunciation is very different in French. On franchira or nous franchirons tous les obstacles. Number 5. The sugar would melt if the tea was hot enough. This is a conditional. This, after an if and a conditional, you need an imperfect here. So, number 5, the sugar, le sucre, it's masculine, not that it would have any impact, would melt. You need that verb in the conditional, and it's an RE verb. So, take off the final E, put the ending for he or it, because sugar is masculine, so that's an A, le sucre, oh, sorry, we're in the conditional, so that's AIT. I was working in the simple future for a sec. So, le sucre fondrait if, si, careful, no, actually, we're good. Si le thé, I should have put where here. Now I realize my mistake in English, but it doesn't change the fact that you need an imperfect. Was, he was, that's était. Hot enough, you need to change the word order here. So, assez, chaud. Like that. So, le sucre fondrait si le thé était assez chaud. And when you read a sentence like that, here, you can liaise those two sounds to make it flow more. So, le sucre fondrait si le thé était assez chaud. Like that. Number 6, we have an imperfect. And, careful, because it's with an IR verb. So, you use to feed. I need to put that first in the new form of the present tense. I'm going to do the draft here. So, take off your IR for the present tense, put the present ending for nous, which is ISS-ONS, take off ONS, take off nous, that's your stem. Now, I want to say vous, so vous, put your stem down. Yeah, 2 R's, I always have a doubt. And then you need the imperfect ending for vous, vous nourrissiez, IEZ. The ducks, les canards, like that. At the lake, literally, at the, and then lake, but that does not ever appear in French. It's always AU. So, au lac, like that. Number 7, I need a bit of space here. Okay, I had arrived far too early. If we look at that first, it's a pluperfect. So, and, actually, be careful, I was about to jump right in, but that's a Vandertramp verb. So we need to be careful about had, because it would be I with the verb to be here in the imperfect. So let me break it down. I will have a vowel after, so I need to put an apostrophe. Here, I need the auxiliary to be in the imperfect with I. So, like you would say, I was, j'étais. Then, the past participle for arrive. You take off your ER, and it's regular, so you put an E accent. If you are a girl or a woman, you would put an extra E at the end. I put it between brackets, but you either put it or not. You don't bother with brackets. Either you're a girl or a boy. If you identify as both, then you would have to pick either way. Far too early, it's impossible to translate it like that. So far too early, you need to say, for example, a lot too early. So I'm going to use a lot here, not a lot of, just a lot. So beaucoup. Too as in too much, that would be trop. Don't put aussi. Think about, is it a connective or is it an intensifier? In this case, it's an intensifier, not a connective. We're not trying to join that part with this one. So far too early, beaucoup, trop, and then tôt, like that. J'étais arrivé beaucoup trop tôt. Number 8. You have a perfect infinitive here, and then you have an imperfect. That could be confusing, but that's actually an adjective using a past participle in English. Anyway, I told you what to use here. We're going to work it bit by bit. So after having fallen, tomber is a Vandertramp verb. So you will need to replace having by being, literally. So après, put your infinitive to be. So être. Tomber, take off the ER, put an E accent for your past participle, and then we're talking about a girl right after, so she is the subject of that verb, a bit indirectly, but we need to agree and put an E, because once again it's a Vandertramp. She was ashamed. She. But in French, we don't say she was ashamed, we say she had shame. So she had, that's your imperfect of the verb avoir, so elle avait honte. And that's she was ashamed, not word for word, but that's the meaning. Number 9, they were trying to work while worrying about exams. Number 9, so they were trying. I need to work out, that's an imperfect, and that's always a tricky verb because sometimes it's irregular, but I don't think it is here. We need to put that in the new form of the present tense. Yeah, you can read here, so let's go. Take off your ER and put ONS. Then take off the ONS, take off the nous. That's my stem to build the imperfect now. So il or elle, it won't change much, I think. They were trying, ils. Put your stem down. And then for the imperfect, the ending for they is AIENT, and that's pronounced ils essayaient. Trying to work, that verb, I didn't have, well, actually, I could have put it. That verb is always followed by the preposition de. So, ils essayaient de. Then you need your infinitive travailler here. Travailler. While worrying, you need to start with this infinitive in the nous form of the present tense. So, nous. Well, technically, I need to put that reflexive pronoun. I need to change it, so there you go. And then take off the er, put ons, get rid of the subject pronoun and the reflexive pronoun, get rid of ons, that's your stem. So then, while worrying, en, you need to keep that reflexive pronoun and match it or agree it, kind of, with the subject which is here, they. So you're lucky, you actually don't need to change it here. So keep it like that. Then put your stem that is here. I hope you're following me. And then put your present participle ending, which is ant, en s'inquiétant, while worrying. About exams, you could say des examens, but it sounds a bit funny, so I'd rather you use à propos, des. You need to turn that into a plural because exams is plural. You can put exams without pronouncing the S, or you can put the full word examen. Ils essayaient de travailler en s'inquiétant à propos des examens. There you go. Next one, I have two subjunctives. I could have one, I could have two. Maybe I'll do both versions. So let's start with the two subjunctive sentence. So, he must tidy. If I want to use a subjunctive here, I need to start with il faut que. He, well, actually get rid of the I, put il. I didn't anticipate that here. That's my fault. And then I need to work out the subjunctive for this verb, meaning I need to put it first in the they form of the present tense. Il, take off your er, put ent, get rid of ent, get rid of il, that's your stem. So il faut qu'il, write your stem, put the ending for il in the subjunctive tense or mode, that's an I, il faut qu'il range, or if you wanted to keep that simple, you could say il doit, he must, that's the verb devoir, like here. And then the infinitive ranger, but that would actually bring you more marks, so that's why I started by that. And then it won't change no matter what you put at the beginning. Before I get home, avant, que, je, and then you need to put that in the they form of the present tense. So take off the re, take off the er, put ent instead, and get rid of ent, get rid of they, take your stem, and put the subjunctive ending for je, which is I. Il faut qu'il range avant que je rentre, or il doit ranger avant que je rentre. There you go. But once again, I prefer the first one because you have more complex tenses if you can master two subjunctives in the same sentence. We're reaching the end and we're reaching the pure A-level content now. So, number 11, I wanted two past historics and I also wanted a fancy little thing that you see at A-level. So, I loved oysters. With an er verb, the past historic is formed as followed. Take off your er, put the ending for je in the past historic, that's ai. J'adorais oysters. You can't say just oysters, you need to say the oysters. So, les huîtres. Et ordered a lot of them. So, let's break it down here. Let's work with the verb first. Ordered, once again, it's your past historic with this verb. So, take off the er, and put the same ending, AI. That's ordered. A lot of them. A lot of, I'll explain here. A lot of, I told you before, it's beaucoup de. So a lot, beaucoup. But here, of them, I'm using that to avoid repeating oysters here. A lot of oysters. So this, what I was expecting is the indirect object pronoun en, which comes always before the verb it refers to. So here, of them, what verb does it work with? It's ordered. A lot of them, you put en before the verb to order. So, j'adorais les huîtres et en commandais beaucoup. This is not something you see a lot, but you need to get used to it because once again, the more you use it in the exam, the more marks you get. Number 12, she will have arrived before you. That's future perfect. So, and careful, once again, we've seen the verb to arrive before. I think it is a Vandertramp, so you need to say she will be arrived before you. So elle, the verb to be in the simple future with she, it's serait. Sorry, wrong, it's sera. Elle sera. Then arrived, that's your past participle of the verb arriver. So take off your ER, put an E accent, but the Vandertramps always agree that their past participle with the subject, which is feminine. Elle sera arrivée, before avant, with an A here, not an O. You, it depends if you're talking to one person or several, or if you're using the casual register or the formal register. You have two ways, either toi, either vous. Either way, either or. But either way, this is an emphatic pronoun. If you have forgotten them, you need to go back in your textbook and check. Emphatic, it's written like, can you see? Yep. Like, wow, I just can't write emphatic like that. Emphatic pronoun. There you go. So, elle sera arrivée avant toi or elle sera arrivée avant vous. She will have arrived before you. Last one, he had homework, but he would not have thought about it. I'm going to break it down. So he had homework. That's an ordinary imperfect. So number 13, il avait. Once again, you can't say homework just like that. You need some homework. So il avait des devoirs, mais. And then you need to break it down and to identify the tense first. So he would have thought, without the negation, it's a conditional perfect. So you already know what tense you need to use. There's a lot to think about here. Actually, I think I'm going to break all of it down here. So he would have thought. Il would have, it's aurait in the conditional. So A-I-T at the end. Thought, it's the past participle of the verb penser. Like that, take off the ER, put the E accent. But you want to say he would not have thought. So, il n'aurait pas pensé. Your negation comes around the auxiliary here. However, and that's the tweak on top of it here, about it, it refers to il aurait pensé à ses devoirs. And that's à, the preposition à plus a noun can be replaced when you say about it by the indirect object pronoun I. I always comes before the conjugated part of your verb. If I take my verb here, well, those two parts, the conjugated part is here, it's my auxiliary. So if I need to insert that in my tense with my negation, I would have il, the beginning of my negation, then my indirect object pronoun, then the conjugated part of my verb, the auxiliary, here. then the end of my negation, and then my past participle. So that's properly twisted to end this exercise. So he would not have thought about it. Il n'y aurait pas pensé. If you're starting to get used to the E thing and the conditional perfect, this probably seems completely twisted and completely foreign to you. However, by the end of year 13, if you do create sentences like that on your own, in speaking or in writing, my gosh, the amount of marks you will get with something that fancy, it will be incredible. So don't freak out if you don't master it yet. Just bear in mind, it's something you need to work on. I hope that was useful. See you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.